Good afternoon, everyone. So sorry for that little delay. What would life be without some technical difficulties? So, we want to welcome you today to KHM Today, your source for weekly travel news and, of course, straight up fun. I am Wanda Thomas with the education team. No, I'm not Carolyn Orff. Where is Carolyn? That's the question of the day. Well, Carolyn is out with a group of our agents during some great fam trips in Punta Cana. So I'm sure they're having a blast. I've been watching some of the posts from some of the agents, etc. So I know they're seeing some excellent locations and they're quite enjoying the experience. So I'm sure she's having a blast. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you want to look at it, she left me to host today. So today, of course, as I've said, I think May 24th. What's so special about today on May 24th? So there's a couple of things that I'll let you know about thinking about the news. Did you know that May the 24th is Bermuda Day in Bermuda? What does that mean? It is the official day in Bermuda where Bermudian men are designated that it's the first day they can actually start to wear Bermuda shorts. Interesting little tidbit there. And of course, because we love all of our women in the world, I always have to say something special about the women. So, the women of the world, today is International Women's Day for Peace and Disarmament. So, it's all about women touch, a touch of things to keep things nice and peaceful, to help us to have a different view of how to look at things so that we can all get along great. As we know in travel, that's what it's all about. Enjoying life, enjoying the journey, definitely trying new things. So, one of the things that we want to talk to you about is talking about cruises, of course. And we are so fortunate today to really have as a guest with us today is MSC. So from MSC, we have Kris Endreson, who is the VP of Strategic Sales at MSC Cruises. Welcome, Kris. So glad to have you.
Hi, Wanda. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here and on all these very special, auspicious days. A little girl power. I'm excited about that.
That's right. Loving it, loving it. Well, I'm ready to hear more about MSC Cruises. I know we talked a little bit beforehand. I've been on a couple of the ships. I absolutely love MSC Cruises. As I tell people all the time, it's filled with culture. It's classy. You feel a little different when you're on one of your ships. So we want to know a little bit more about it. So today, let's focus on that guest experience. Tell us a little bit about MSC and why the experience with MSC is different from some of the other cruise lines out there.
That's a great question. And we are asked that all the time. To give everybody just a quick little background on who we are, I think it'll help everyone understand why we're different and what makes us so unique, especially from some of our others in our competitive set. So MSC Cruises is the world's fastest growing cruise line, and we're the world's third largest by capacity. We're privately owned. Our history in the water, I like to say, goes back over 300 years, right? We were talking earlier. What does MSC stand for? Well, MSC stands for the Mediterranean Shipping Company. And so the family who owns MSC got their start shipping over 300 years ago. In the year 1675, actually, this is just one of my favorite stories, Wanda, where we started shipping goods to and from Naples. And so, that's why we like to say the sea is in our DNA at MSC, because we really have been one with the sea for over 300 years. And it is the same family that now has the cruise line as a part of the family shipping company. And so with that, something else a lot of people aren't quite aware of is that MSC is actually a leader in South America, South Africa, the Gulf region, and Europe, right? And because we're a global brand that calls on over 250 destinations across 6 continents, we really do cater in a different way to our guests because we source from all over the world. And so with that, we like to say that the experience on MSC and what makes us really different is that when our guests come on board, they're going to have a very unique experience in that they're going to be able to meet people from all over the world, right? You're going to, your kids are going to get to interact with kids from all over the world in the children's program. And, we're really just geared for those, people who are just looking to have a unique, more culturally immersed, enriched experience. So it's a little bit of our European heritage, but at the same time, offering that American cruise comfort, right, that we all would expect to have. And so that kind of European style on board just gives our experience something different for our guests.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I love the artwork, the crystal, all of the things that you see. It's just a glamorous experience when you're on board the ships. So it definitely is unique. And I love the fact that it is unique. And as you talk about the children from all over the world, the individuals from all over the world, that was one of the things that was so impressive to me, I think, on the couple of times that I've sailed on the ship. The captain at that time spoke all these different languages and was able to greet people in all these different languages. And I was like, I was in awe of how he was able to really, connect with those that were on board. It was just awesome. Just absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's great. So if you're on a cruise over in Europe, you'll hear those announcements in some of the different languages, but all of our ships sailing from US ports, we don't do that. So again, right, we want our guests to have more of an experience that we would expect here in North America. So there are some little ways that we tweak the product so that we're ensuring we're delivering, that cruise experience that we all anticipate. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about the variation in the offerings of cabins, et cetera. One of the things that I definitely love is the MSC Yacht Club. Tell us about that experience and why somebody would want to do that.
I will tell you, the Yacht Club is a real favorite of our guests. The Yacht Club sells out. It sells first. And it is an absolute just amazing experience. And I'm going to start by prefacing this with, I've been in the cruise industry for way many years than I care to admit, but it's almost 30. And I've spent the last 10 years on the luxury side of the cruise industry. So I know luxury very, very well and very intimately. And when I had my first opportunity to experience the Yacht Club on MSC, I went on there thinking, well, let's see what this really is, right? I will tell you, I was absolutely blown away and quite frankly, very surprised at how we are able to deliver such an exclusive experience on our ships. So now you're all wondering, well, what is it, right? So our Yacht Club is a ship within a ship concept, right? And for those of you who like some trivia, MSC was actually the first to pioneer this concept in the cruise industry. And so what the Yacht Club is a dedicated area of the ship. It depends on the size of the ship, a couple of decks of all staterooms ranging in size from an interior to a balcony to a suite in our Yacht Club, which is really nice because it's great for multi-gen. You could put the kids in an interior or the nanny in an interior, right? A lot of options there. But what makes this experience so unique is that our Yacht Club guests really have that access to exclusivity. They're not only in a private part of the ship, but they'll have 24-hour butler service, priority embarkation, priority debarkation, right? Access to the concierge, a private restaurant where you can dine, a private bar and lounge where you can relax, a private outdoor swimming pool and grill, access to the spa. So there are so many just delightful ways to have this very exclusive Yacht Club experience on MSC, while all at the same time having access to a gorgeous ship, right? And all the amenities that a larger ship affords. So, our Yacht Club is really something special. And it's also a great value for our guests, right? So if you have, if anybody has clients out there that love to cruise luxury, are looking for something at a lower price point, but having that similar experience, this is perfect. And even I'll even mention on Ocean Key, which is our private island experience, we have our own private beach for our yacht club guests. And then we have the most breathtaking, spectacular restaurant that sits up on a little hill on the island with the most magnificent view and the most amazing lobster rolls that you'll have south of Maine, trust me, and just some delicious cuisine. So we really do treat our yacht guests, in a very exclusive way. It's a fabulous experience.
Well, you definitely sold me. I'm just going to say, you sold me listening to that. I'm definitely sold. So, thinking about taking it from the yacht club to the different experiences that are available on the ships, tell us a little bit about, if I remember right in my research, there was the Bella, the Fantastica, and the Aurea, I think it was.
Very good. Very good. You get an A.
Tell us a little bit about that and what the differences might be.
Yeah, so exactly. So while we have Yacht Club for those who are looking for that experience, what we do at MSC is very unique. Again, we're the only, cruise line that offers our guests the opportunity to have an experience on board that's more suited to what they would like to have. And so with that, they can choose either the Bella experience, which is our very basic, entry level kind of experience. It's a cruise only, it's perfect for guests who are very price conscious. They're not worried about cabin location or dining times. So it's really great for those who are just like, listen, get me on. I don't care. I just want to be on a ship living my best life. Right. Right. And then our next level is called Fantastica. And that's for our guests who want to enjoy. It's actually for guests in balconies, ocean view, and interior staterooms. And that's where our guests can have a little bit more flexibility. They can make a booking change. We'll offer them priority choice of dining times. They'll also receive a 20% discount on our specialty restaurants, and they can choose their own cabin location. So again, just a little bit more of, customizing, right? What may be important to the guest. And then finally, we have our Aurea Experience. And this is for those who, they really want to treat themselves and they really want to have that more, customized experience, with a little bit more access. And so what Aurea offers is everything we offer in Fantastica, as well as, the best cabin locations on the ship. On the upper decks, as a matter of fact, priority embark, priority disembark. We'll give some wonderful suite amenities like prosecco and chocolates and bathrobes and slippers in the suites, right? Right. Exactly. Right. And then you can choose your own dining times. You have access to our thermal spa area and also access to discounted prepaid spa packages. And that's for guests in balconies and suites. So it's really nice because, if you're traveling with different people and everybody wants to have a little bit of a different experience, you can absolutely do that. And then we've got the Yacht Club.
Yes, I love it. I love having the variety. And like you said, being able to cater to multiple personalities and styles of travel. So I love that. But yet we all can be together. Everybody has their own little thing, but we're all on this one big, beautiful ship.
There you go.
So talking about these big, beautiful ships, I know you've got something new coming. As I told you, I think I've been on the Divinia and I've been on the Seaside. I think of the two that I've been on. And I love them. So I can only imagine what's coming down the pipeline. So tell us about the newest thing we need to be ready for.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we are so excited about this new ship. And, we were talking earlier, right, Wanda, the ships at MSC, with every new ship, they are just more beautiful than the next. And you just can't even imagine how you can top the newest one. But somehow, we managed to do that. And since you've been on Seaside, we've got Seashore, her newer sister ship. We have Seascape, the newest ship. We have MSC World Europa. We have MSC World Eurybia coming out in a couple weeks, as a matter of fact. So there's just so much amazing, gorgeous hardware. But what we're really super excited about is the recent announcement of our new ship that'll be sailing from the US. It's called MSC World America. And this ship is going to be the sister ship to MSC World Europa, which just came out earlier in this year in February. So as you can guess, she's sailing from America. She's sailing starting in 2025, but you guys know this is all going to be here before we know it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she's currently open for sale, and this ship, again, a true game changer for us in this market. She'll be the largest. This is the largest class of ships in our fleet. We like to say she offers a new world of cruising, World America, and she's going to offer some very unique experiences. She'll have this Y-shaped aft, so she'll be open in the back of the ship, where we'll have this fabulous outdoor promenade where guests can dine outdoors. They'll have the spectacular light show. There's just so much to do on board. We'll have 13 specialty restaurants, some really super cool dining concepts, in addition to some of our favorites like Butcher's Cut, our steakhouse, and teppanyaki, but some new concepts where we're growing our own greens on board. So we're actually the first to have an ocean to table concept. We'll use some of the microgreens we're growing, and then we'll also have 13 restaurants. If I didn't already say 13, I may have said 13 restaurants, and then 20 bars and lounges. So much to do on this ship.
Wow.
Some of the ones we're super excited about. We'll have our own brewery on board, our own brew pub, MSC Masters, where we'll actually brew our own beer. Very exciting about that. We'll have some super cool new concepts like the Gin Project, where we'll offer 70 different kinds of gin. And I mention that only because that's where you're all going to be able to find me on that. And, the mixology bar and the champagne bar. And, we're going to have a new sports bar where for MSC, it's a first for us. We'll also be serving, those fun bar food favorites while guests can enjoy all those really fun sports that they'd like to have. And then I'm really excited about our new family concept on MSC World America. It's called the Harbor Club. And, I mentioned at the start of our chat that we're a family-owned company, and at MSC, families are very important to us. And we have a spectacular children's program, across all of our fleet. But MSC World America is going to offer something a little bit more unique, and we're just super excited about it. It's called the Harbor Club. And this is where families can come together and play and relax together. So lots of fun things to do. We'll have the water park, zip lines, themed playgrounds, food trucks, but a real place for families to really spend time together. And so we're very excited about the Harbor Club. And then we'll have some really super fun interactive lounges. One is our Luna Park Lounge, where we'll have we call it the Drone Academy, where you can learn to fly drones. Just some really super cool things, very innovative things on the ship. And you and I were chatting before, and we were talking about Instagrammable places.
Yes.
He's so famous for having these just wonderful Instagrammable things to do on board. And one of the things that World America is going to offer, and it's a little hard to describe, but it's the world's longest dry slide at sea. So imagine it's like a stainless steel slide, right? All enclosed like a swirl, and it spans 11 decks. So you literally can hop in at the top and slide down 11 decks.
Wow.
Super cool. And I like to say, and listen, if you're not brave enough to do that, what a fun place to, take some Instagram shots. So we have a lot of those really fun, surprising places for our guests to have these unique experiences and then brag about them to all their friends on social media.
Well, I can't wait. I already love MSC, and I can't wait for the new ship to come out. I've definitely got to check it out. So glad it's going to be sailing to the Caribbean from the U.S. I cannot wait. So I'll definitely be checking it out for sure.
Yeah, and she's open for sale. So, start having those conversations, and she's going to be a real game changer and a real hit. So we're super excited. She'll be, like you said, she'll be doing 7-night Eastern Western Caribbean itinerary sailing from Miami in 2025, April of 25.
Awesome. Well, Kris, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and share all this fabulous knowledge about a cruise ship I love, or a cruise company I love. So can't wait to get back on board again and to see you again. Again, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Wanda. It was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Y'all, I love that. We had such a great conversation about MSC Cruises. And if you haven't been on their ships, you have to try them out. I have loved each of the ones I've been on. I've only been on 2, and they're growing like hotcakes. So they already have several other ships. But I just love the adult concept. That's what I refer to it as. She says family. I love that it has this sexy feel to it, if you would. You feel kind of glamorous when you're on their ships with the different crystal artwork, things of that nature, and the lounges for jazz and everything else. So I could go on and on. I love MSC. But we've got a timetable, so I guess I better move on. And I'm happy to move on because I am, again, so happy to bring on my cohort in crime. Carolyn didn't know what she was doing and leaving us 2 together from the education team. But I want to bring on Virginia Busceme. She's going to be with me to have a little chat about a couple of things in regards to how we help our clients. Welcome, Virginia.
Hi, Wanda.
So, as I said, Carolyn didn't know what she was getting herself into, leaving us 2 here. No idea. But as we would do, we're going to continue to keep things flowing smoothly. So, of course, Virginia, I know we've talked a little bit about things that our clients say to us. And one of the things that we talked about was the fact that sometimes our clients will say to us, I really didn't want to bother you. They feel like they're creating something. I don't know what, but they come out and say, I didn't want to bother you, but I've got this question. How do you feel about that statement? And how do you make your guests feel like, well, no, you're not really bothering me? How do you handle that?
Well, I kind of handle it 2 different ways, Wanda. If I'm in a position where I can take the call, I assure them, you are not bothering me. I love to talk to you. If I'm not in a position to take the call, I don't take the call. I let it go to voicemail because we don't have to take every call right when it comes in.
Oh, I totally agree with that. That's kind of my thought process. It's like I can watch my phone ringing, but I'm busy in the middle of stuff. I mean, I don't think our clients realize, as we don't with other professions as well, but there's so much that we're handling throughout the day. We're busy doing so many different things, multitasking, getting itineraries ready, so forth and so on. And I don't think our clients realize all that goes into what we do.
And I mean, if I am this close to being finished with something, I'm going to finish it and then call them back.
Absolutely.
Because then I can have my attention totally where it needs to be and not scattered.
Exactly. And I think that's a very important point that you make. It's about being able to give dedicated, true attention to your client. You want them to feel like they are the only one in your world, even when some of them think that way. We do want them to feel that way. And so if we think about saying, well, let me get back to them when I really have that time to give them what they deserve, dedicated time. I think that's really, really important. So that's a great point that you make. An excellent point.
I think one of the things that I learned during COVID is it's okay to have a time that I stop working. That I can now say, okay, I'm not going to answer calls before 8 o'clock in the morning unless somebody's traveling. If it's a real emergency, I'm going to answer the phone.
Yes.
If it's just, hey, I want to talk, then you know what? I can wait until after 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock, you probably won't get me on the phone unless, again, it's an emergency or I'm in the middle of planning something with that person. It's okay. It's okay to wait until the following day.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. I think we've had this conversation before that even your doctor is not available to you 24/7. If you need an emergency, whatever that is, they say, go to the hospital, go to the local, medical center, etc. They're not available 24/7. We can't be available 24/7. It will burn you out trying to be there. So you do have to set some parameters, if you would, in how you are doing your business, or it will burn you out. It's very important to have processes put together and have those things in place, that I don't answer the call, as you said, before this particular time. I'm going to finish my day at this particular time. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
And transitioning from when you take all calls at all hours of the day and night to having some set hours is not an easy transition.
Yeah, it's not.
You have to start out slow.
Yeah.
Maybe set that morning boundary.
Yep.
And then later set that afternoon boundary. You have to take little steps and not try to do it all in one great big steps. And you have to communicate. You have to tell people,
Yes.
I have a family. There
Mhm.
are things that I am doing at home that I want to be able to do with my children.
Mhm.
And because of that, I now have some office hours.
That's right.
And that's okay. You can
That
do
is
that.
I agree. That is okay. And I think that's a very important piece for people to get, is that it's okay to take care of yourself. We're so busy taking care of others that we need to make sure that we're taking the opportunity to take care of ourselves, take care of our family from that standpoint as well. It's just like with anything else. You've got to have boundaries, some parameters that go along with what you offer. Every particular business has a set of terms and conditions of doing business with them, per se. And
That's
I think that, what we do each day, those small things really kind of roll up into, here are the terms and conditions of doing business with my particular company. As you know, my philosophy or my thought process, because I deal with pretty much adults, is what I pretty much deal with in my demographic. And I truly believe, as adults, there's a level of accountability and responsibility for each traveler. There's things that they need to do themselves, that we need to make sure that they understand what's our role in servicing them, as well as what is their role in helping to support us to service them. So
right.
those are very important pieces to me.
Right. You're exactly right.
Do you have any particular tips or things that come to mind, other than what we talked about, that you would say, here's one thing or two things I want to make sure to leave with each of you as far as to best practices when it comes to client management?
Well, one thing I would like to just say is a lot of us didn't start out being busy.
Yes.
And you think, I have to be everything to all people.
Yes.
And then as you start having success in your business, it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows until you reach this point where you just realize, this has taken over my life.
Yes.
And for new people just coming into this business, I really encourage you to think about this ahead of time.
Absolutely.
And remember that it's okay to set those boundaries,
Mhm.
because it can really grow out of control
Yes.
very quickly.
Very quickly. That's so true. It's interesting that you say that, because, as you said, communication is so key. I always communicate to my clients up front, here is how I do business. Here is my, most of the times I'll say, I don't have a whole lot of boundaries, but one boundary I do have. When I grew up, my grandmother said, nobody calls your house after 10 p.m. That's just not respectable. So I let my clients know, I'm sorry, unless it's a true emergency, please do not call me after 10 p.m. because grandma said that's not a respectable hour for anybody to be calling me.
And if you do call, you'll probably get my voicemail.
Exactly. Exactly. You got it. So it's so important, definitely, as we've said, to set those particular boundaries and to, again, take care of yourself and to know when it's time to say enough. Also to know it's okay to say no, and also okay to, put things to the side and, do something different.
And as your business evolves, you're going to evolve with it.
Absolutely.
Some of the things that are hard in the beginning become easier as time goes by.
So true. So very true. Well, Virginia, thank you so much. As always, I enjoyed talking with you, us
Thank
having a
you,
chat.
Wanda. This was fun.
It is fun. It's
We may
always
not
fun.
have done exactly what Carolyn wanted us to do, but we addressed the subject.
Hey, like I said, she didn't know what she was doing when she left us in control. Well, again, thank you so much, Virginia. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you. And definitely want to thank everybody for being with us today as well. We love serving you, and I'm so happy to be a part of your education team to service you. And we hope that you will tune in to us again in the next week and week thereafter. And we definitely want to thank you, as well as to our sponsors that sponsor us on a regular basis, the ALG Group. So thank you all for tuning in today. And I hope that you all will have a fabulous, fabulous week, rest of week and weekend. Thank you again, and have a great one. Bye-bye.